Hello Virgo, and welcome to your reading for the week of January 16 through 22, 2024. This is a reading for you if you are a Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising, have some other kind of significant Virgo placement in your chart. If you are returning to this channel, welcome back. It's good to have you here again. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Also, it is good to have you here. And if you like this video and you find it helpful and you find these readings to resonate with you and be helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving a like, a thumbs up, and a comment, and all that would be helpful in making this channel more visible to other people. A lot of tarot channels out there, so and everybody resonates with their own reader, and or sometimes you can resonate with multiple readers at different times. But if this one works for you, that would definitely help me out. I do have a link. I have a PayPal donation link, and I also have a link to my website where I do not only readings, but I do what I call spiritual coaching, basically, in which I use not just tarot, but I use astrology of both types, both Western and Eastern. And I also use human design readings. If you've not heard of those, you can look those up. And I also make use of tarot and other oracle systems, as well as Reiki therapy. So if that interests you, my link is liminalreiki.com down in the description. So the way that I do these readings, if you're new, is I do a full horoscope spread based on the 12 houses of astrology. I feel like this is the best way to get a very clear picture of what is going on right now in all areas of your life, not just, say, love or career, although those tend to be the two highlights for a lot of people. I use the cartouche cards, which are an Egyptian system I've been using it's going to be going on 37 years now that I've been using them, and I find that these are, for me at least, these are the most accurate. Like, I seem to get the most accurate readings from them. And I clarify with a tarot deck just to get more information, and right now we are using the Spirit Within Tarot, which is a brand new deck I got for Christmas this year. And I usually have an oracle deck that I use to just give a summary at the end, some kind of an extra card, and this time I'm using the Avebury Oracle by Melanie Jones. Avebury, A-V-E-B-U-R-Y. Avebury is a place in England. If you're not familiar with it, it's quite similar to Stonehenge, if you're aware of the idea of the big megalithic stone circle. Avebury is one of the oldest stone circles in Britain, and there's actually a town built within the stone circle. So Avebury is a very, very cool place. If you've never been there, it's cool to check out. And this is an oracle deck that was designed there based on that place. The images are based on the area, and I had purchased it while I was staying there at one point. And apologies if you heard this gurgling sound in the background. That is actually just my coffee pot going, because I'm doing a little bit of a marathon here, and so I'm getting my coffee going for the afternoon. And my coffee pot is exceptionally loud. So, okay. So let's begin here. The first house that we have here for you is the Aries house. And Aries has to do with your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how other people see you. And this time, Virgo, you've got Pyramid with the Two of Wands, okay? So what we're looking at here is, I feel like you're at a crossroads here. When Two of Wands comes up, we're trying to make a decision about something. And in the house of personality, this definitely has to do with how we want others to see us. Or what we identify with, what we assume is part of our identity. Pyramid definitely suggests the idea that there is a change going on right now. It's a card of initiation. Pyramid is a card of when we're testing our faith in ourselves. So I do feel right now that you are like this person here who is standing, carrying the world under their arm, looking like a basketball a bit there, between these two staves, or these two wands, that looks a bit like you're passing through a gateway and looking out over the horizon. So this is definitely a time when I think you are questioning yourself and expanding your own definition of who you are, whatever that ends up meaning for you. Okay, second house we have here is Taurus energy. Taurus has to do with your finances, and Taurus has to do with finances. It has to do with your possessions. It has to do with what you value. Okay, that's the thing here. And here we have Ta with the King of Swords. Okay, so you are definitely, again, King of Swords has to do with making decisions. You are trying to gain clarity on a situation. Ta has very strong Capricorn energy tied to it. So Capricorn is, this is about hard work. It's another earth sign like yourself. It's about putting in the elbow grease, working hard at something, trying to build something. For some of you, this could be about building a nest egg, or it could be about investments or savings, or making a decision about spending money on something, or making a decision about how you're going to make money. Now, King of Swords can mean somebody who is, King of Swords is very intellectual. It's an air sign, okay? So for some of you, this could mean having to do with teaching or academics or some kind of a skill where you're considered to be an authority, where you have the learning or the knowledge or the expertise on something that where you might be making money. But it can also just be a matter of trying to, to build something here, trying to master something, trying to, look at the cold, hard facts of something. Because King of Swords to me are about, they take all the emotion out of it and they try to look at something dispassionately. So I feel like you may be doing that with your money right now. Doesn't indicate necessarily a money problem, but just a sense of, how one can build and how one can improve. And again, for some of you, this is going to involve something connected to work, but we will definitely look at that as we get farther along in the reading. Third house, this is Gemini energy. And Gemini is about communication. It's about messages that you get, that you receive. It's about sibling relationships, so relationships with your brothers and sisters. It can be about short-term travel, like just short journeys, not super long ones. And also, if you are in your own business, this is about self-effort. So we have the High Priestess with the twins. Okay. So I feel like, the twins is also a Gemini type card. High Priestess is more like Piscean energy. So there's the sense of some kind of messages coming in or something that is unclear. Okay. When I see the High Priestess, it's almost like a cryptic message that's coming in from somebody. Or a situation where you feel like maybe you don't have all the information or not everything's been revealed to you, and where you feel like, somebody may be holding something back from you. Not necessarily in a malicious way. It just seems like there's a piece of the puzzle or a piece of the script with regard to something that is absent. So again, the fact that we have the twins here, this is the attunement of something that has two sides. So I feel like this is a message from somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a loved one, it could be, could be a loved one in the sense of being family or a lover or something like that. Whatever it is, there's something here where you're feeling like you're not getting all the information about something, or there's a sense of concealment here. So I don't know. This seems to be suggesting that in some kind of a back and forth thing, or a business deal potentially as well. Or perhaps from a sibling, that there's just some information that you're not getting here yet. So take that as it resonates. But there's definitely the sense of a communication or a deal or a working with someone where there's more to be uncovered here. High Priestess, I should also note, sometimes it has to do with intuition. So there may be more that you're perceiving in your feelings about something than you are in terms of like maybe what's being presented to you on the surface. Okay. The fourth house, this has to do with family. It has to do with your home, potentially with the mother. And we have Scarab with the Seven of Swords. Okay, so again, I don't know. There's a strong family vibe to this because, again, Seven of Swords is the idea of somebody being deceptive or being duplicitous or just not telling you something that you need to know. And the Scarab does indicate some kind of a change. Now, for some of you, this could literally mean a move or a change, like a change of home. It could be changing something around within your home, like you could decide to redecorate or do something like that. But, or it could be a new beginning with regard to a family member. There could be some kind of a change in something. But again, there's this idea here that there's something that's being kept back and unknown. It's interesting because I'm trying to think where else I saw this. It might have been in Taurus's reading where there just seemed to be this dynamic between the third house and the fourth house here that suggested that there was either withheld information or surprising information or something like that that's going on. So take that as it resonates, but this definitely does indicate some kind of a new beginning. I feel like to a certain degree, because this not only has to do with family, but also with your personal sense of security, and seeing you taking a hard look at things here, and seeing you making decisions here, and wondering about maybe decisions you've made in the past. I do feel like there's something all tied in here, if not specifically to your family, at least to your sense of security. So there's some kind of a change around here, and you feel like there's just something that's going on in the background that that you're not privy to for whatever reason, that somebody's not sharing, or somebody's sneaking around and being duplicitous. So take that as it resonates. Fifth house is Leo energy, and Leo has to do with creativity. It has to do with children. It has to do with love affairs. If you're single and looking for somebody, or have a love interest that you haven't either gotten with, or maybe just recently have gotten with, this is all connected to these things. Okay, and so we have Thoth with the Five of Cups. So we've got two fives here. Fives definitely indicates a change. Now, if this is referring to something creative, Thoth could indicate Thoth has a very strong karmic bent here. So there could be this sense of looking back at something in the past, or looking at something with regret. This could have to do with a relationship. This could have to do with, or just some kind of a situation where maybe you feel like you have a loss of some kind, okay? Or with regard to a child. I mean, take it as it resonates here. But with Thoth here, okay, the message seems to be that there's something, whatever the situation is, whether it has to do with a creative project, with a lover, or with a love affair, there's an element of karma here. So when I see Thoth, it indicates that there's something, I don't know if there's a lesson to be learned there, or if there is, it's just a karmic situation that is repeating itself in some way. But there's something here. I don't know. I feel like whatever this is, it's kind of representing an inevitable turning point. And the thing about Five of Cups is you see this person here. They're sitting there, kind of wringing their hands. They look dejected. But if you look in front of them, now normally you will see 5 cups and 2 will remain standing. Here it looks almost like there's only 3 cups in this image. But you do at least have a cup that is standing, and you have a bridge over here, okay? So this person is mourning something that's lost, but there is still a cup that's being held out for the future, and there is an opportunity to walk away and to walk over this bridge and get to someplace else. So I don't know. I feel like something that may be going on with respect to this right now, the point of it may be to point you in a new direction. Maybe it's something you've lost, and I think the way I've heard it described is an opportunity disguised as a loss. Okay, so I don't know. There's an opportunity for change here. 5s always indicate change, and you've got 2 of them here. You've got the 5 of Cups, and you've got the 5 here on the Thoth card. The other possibility for this, by the way, is if you're working on a creative project, that this could be some kind of a writing, because Thoth has to do with writing and also with healing. So it could be somebody who's writing or journaling or writing something that allows them to release a past energy that has been difficult. So that is another possibility of that card in that position. Okay, 6th house is your house, Virgo energy. And in the Virgo house, which has to do with health, it has to do with things that you're worried about, because as you know, as a Virgo, sometimes you're very sort of neat and organized and maybe a little perfectionist about certain things. At least traditionally, that's what you are. And also this could have to do with a job. If you happen to be doing a job just to bring in money or extra cash, or maybe it's just a job that you do full time, then it's not necessarily what you would love to be doing all the time. I feel like the 10th house is more about what your legacy is, what your career, what your reputation is. Sometimes those are the same thing, but for a lot of people, you may do something to make money and then have something else that you consider to be your magnum opus or your masterwork. Okay, so we have the 4 of Wands. Again, we have this idea of a gateway. Remember, we looked at this card here, and this 2 of Wands, and this 2 of Wands shows somebody at a gateway, and here you have 2 people at a gateway. So yeah, there's definitely the sense of a completion of something and moving forward. And Anubis is a card of protection. So what I feel like here in a health house, I do feel like there's this sense of trying to do things to protect yourself, maybe to protect your health, maybe to protect the health of others. It could be sometimes the Anubis shows up if there's some kind of medical procedure that needs to be done. And again, please understand that when I look at the health aspect of the sixth house, I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anybody. And you really need to just take it if it literally applies to you. So let's just say you're planning to go in to your doctor's office or to an outpatient facility and have a procedure done, right? Then if you need any kind of anesthetics, Anubis indicates safety with anesthetics. Right? That's an aspect of it, both in the 6th and the 12th houses. So that's a possibility there if that applies to you. But overall, I feel like, I don't know, there's a sense of protection here. Like I feel like there may be a worry about something. Maybe there's a worry about stability. Maybe a worry about moving on to the next phase of something. Maybe if you are employed, maybe it's concerned about a job, but Anubis to me indicates that whatever situation you're concerned about, there is protection here. So take that as it resonates. Again, that's it's pretty broad based. If I was doing an individual reading, I'd want to like drill down into that, but you can see how that feels for you. Okay, 7th house is Libra energy. So this is partnerships. This is relationships with others. This is marriages, business partnerships, anything of a legal nature. So even if you're in a legal contract or a legal partnership with somebody, that may also fall into this spot. And we have the wing disc with the Chariot, okay? Now, wing disc generally indicates a successful partnership, okay? And the Chariot is somebody who is under control. I mean, sometimes there's Cancer energy associated with the Chariot. So you could be dealing with somebody who's a Cancer, but not necessarily. But I feel like there's a sense of taking control, of overcoming obstacles and difficulties. So whether this is you, whether this is your partner, if you are somebody who is single and looking for a relationship, if I look at this over here in the 5th house, which is the unlegalized relationships, then this is definitely the sense of looking for somebody who's a successful partner, maybe somebody who has their life together and under control. Or maybe you have a situation with somebody that even in spite of any obstacles or perhaps setbacks, perhaps it's saying that with that person, it's not the end of the story, that there will be a resolution to problems. And then with the Chariot, there's definitely a sense of movement or moving forward. Where else did I see this? I have Scarab here down in the 4th house. So yeah, there could be this sense of change, movement, connected with a partnership that you have, okay? And this is a very positive thing. It indicates either obstacles overcome or just success generally with regard to a particular situation. And if you feel like it doesn't apply to you personally and you are somebody who's married or in a significant partnership or can think of somebody significant who this might apply to, then that may be where this is going for you. 8th house, this is Scorpio energy, and Scorpio is about transformation. So it's about life and death issues. It's about your own personal transformations, what's going on in your life, what's changing. Scorpio also has to do with other people's money at times as well. And yeah, we have Bastet with the King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles is generally a self-made person financially. King of Pentacles, sometimes for some people, it has to do with striking it out on your own in a business or just having success or just somebody who is successful or there's a maturity to the King of Pentacles. That's the word that's coming into my mind right now with regard to finances or shared finances, okay? So I feel like there's going to be the culmination of something. I mean, I'm looking opposite. You have the King of Swords over here. So, yeah, I don't know. There just seems to be something, there's some kind of a culmination here or some kind of success. Again, I'm seeing this over here, and because it has to do with other people's money, maybe it's going to be money that comes in from a spouse. Sometimes this is money that comes in from legacies or gifts like that. But there definitely seems to be a sense of getting something in order financially or having something together financially. Now, Bastet in this house indicates you need to follow your intuition on something. Behave with care and caution. And also, this is a card of socializing, playfulness, reaching out, trying not to take things particularly seriously, and then being careful on how we behave with others. Give as you wish to receive, and that sort of thing is connected to Bast. So in this house, I feel like this is a call to pay attention to your intuitive knowing, and also perhaps an assurance that you are, financially or security wise, this seems like there's going to be success, or there's maybe going to be the end of a difficult cycle, because King of Pentacles certainly represents a level of security. This is the culmination of the suit. So you're not en route to something. It almost feels like something maybe has been completed financially as well. Okay, ninth house. This is Sagittarius energy. Sag has to do with expansion. So long-term journeys, so long-distance travel, higher education, deeper thoughts about life, things that expand your horizon, that expand your learning. And you have Crook and Flail with the Nine of Wands. Now, I should also mention this house may have to do with legal matters. And so for some of you, this could be an ongoing legal matter that, where you haven't given up on something, but perhaps you're exhausted and worn out. Nine of Wands comes up when we are tired of something, when we're tired of something and are ready to be done and ready to drop it. But because you're at the stage of the 9, you're almost to the end here. You're almost at the culmination of whatever this burden is. Crook and Flail definitely does have strong legal connotations. But if you're not involved with anything that it has to do with a court case or anything like that, or some kind of financial paperwork, then what I think it's saying here is there's a need for, Crook and Flail is about authority, self-confidence, self-discipline. Maybe there's something that you teach others, because this is a card of being an authority or being recognized for something or knowledge about something. So that might apply to some of you. Maybe some of you are in some kind of an educational, maybe you're in university, you're waiting to graduate, and you're kind of trying to hang in there till the end. But Crook and Flail there would assure success. So I don't know. There's definitely here either a strong legal connotation or just the sense of being recognized as an authority or expert. Or if you feel that you are not an authority or an expert, this could be another person. You might need another person's expertise to deal with this situation over here, this Nine of Wands situation, where you may feel exhausted and drained and getting ready to either give up on something or put a burden down. So, but I always feel like Nine of Wands is that there's like a vigilance there, like we're not quite ready to give up yet. We haven't quite reached the point of the 10 where we need to put our burden down. So, so it does seem like there's some struggle and there's some work through here in the ninth house. But Crook and Flail also is about self-discipline as well. So it may just be a matter of, taking a deep breath and staying the course with something. Okay, 10th house is Capricorn energy, and this has to do with your career, fame, reputation, things like that. Okay, so we have Hathor with the 8 of Wands. So this indicates fast movement in something. Now, for some of you, Hathor could indicate being in a career or a profession that is related to, I'm thinking a very Venus-type profession. So something aesthetic, like somebody who's a hairdresser, for instance, or deals with fashion, or deals with, is a baker, or, some kind of a thing that's been traditionally female associated. But it doesn't have to be that. Somebody who's an esthetician, or a massage therapist or something like that. It could be something like that, but it doesn't have to be. It can also just be somebody who is very organized, very efficient, and what you're putting out there. There seems to be a lot of back and forth about something with the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is messages going back and forth very, very swiftly, things moving very, very swiftly with regard to something. And this could just simply be saying, you're working to keep things organized and efficient and together, which is certainly a hallmark or trait of Virgo. So take this as it resonates. But regardless of whether this has to do specifically with a feminine-oriented career or Venus-oriented career, or whether or not this 8 of Wands is about, this 8 of Wands either way has to do with something changing very quickly or messages coming in very quickly about something, and you may be called to respond. So, but Hathor is generally somebody who's very confident and has it together. Certainly if you're talking about a woman, this would be a woman who is a very strong career person who has her act together. But if this isn't a man's reading, there could be the implication of some kind of career or something associated with women, or there may be a stronger Empress type energy here that's just about preparation, about planting seeds, laying the groundwork for something. So take that as it resonates there for you. Again, with the general reading, it's hard because it's different for everybody. 11th house, Aquarian energy. This has to do with your hopes and your wishes and your goals, also with your friendships, networks that you're in. Sometimes there's a touch of destiny to this house. Okay, and you have the Ankh with the Hierophant. Okay, now this is interesting. So for some of you, the Ankh here may indicate a friendship that becomes a romance, potentially. Okay, again, this is not for everybody. But this Hierophant certainly is about taking something to a higher level of commitment. But this could also, again, there's a very strong mentor energy with here. And when I'm looking at what was going on in the 9th house, it could be that there's somebody in your friend group or somebody connected to in your network somewhere who may be able to guide you in something. And if it's not specifically in love, okay, because Ankh is a card of love for sure, it can just have to do with a wish for happiness and fulfillment. Because Ankh is also about long life and happiness, about having, being able to do what you are passionate about, having the drive to do something you're passionate about. So I feel like there may be somebody, maybe telling you to take a traditional path towards that. Hierophant often has to do with tradition. And it doesn't necessarily have to be religious tradition, by the way, in spite of the fact that the Hierophant tends to be somebody who represents religious authority. It can just be a tried and true way of doing things. And, it's, so I don't know. So, or this could be somebody in your network or friend group who is going to enable you to get to this point, who has this kind of authority or has this kind of know-how. Okay, 12th house, Pisces. This is about what is hidden, what you're not showing to people, what people are not showing to you, and maybe what you're keeping hidden from yourself, or maybe what you're afraid of, whether you're aware of it or not. So, okay, we have Horus with the 5 of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, what immediately comes to mind, Horus is either a friend or a family member where you may be worried about poverty, okay? Somebody not having money, not having enough money, or maybe about somebody who's leaving you out in the cold or leaving you behind. There may be an unconscious feeling of being left out of something, okay? And so, but I feel like this is something, with this 2 of Wands energy in the 1st house, I always like to compare it to what it is that you're deciding you want to show people. And also looking at this 5 of Cups over here. I just feel like there's been a loss or a heartache recently, or some kind of a situation where you feel like you are an outsider, when you in fact should be connected here, and I feel like that's leading to certain decisions in your mind about things. But again, I'm seeing looking at the wing disc and the Chariot here over in your relationship house. I don't know. I do feel like there may be an emphasis here on success or overcoming obstacles through the partnerships or the relationships that are important and that matter. I also do feel like the fact that this is showing up here, I don't know. I don't want to say, okay, that this means that what you're feeling here is more in your head than not, because I don't really think that's the case here. I think it's more just like a sorrow that you're kind of pushing out of your way because you're just kind of like, it's sort of like a let's get on with it and not focus on it. But do be aware that this feeling and this is still here, that this is still something that, even though you're not presenting that, to people, or you're not focusing on it, it is kind of something that's still here in the background. Now, overall, you have Urias with the Tower, which is interesting. Wow. So there's the idea here of Urias are things that we don't expect, and the Tower shakes things up, okay? The Tower brings down false structures. It makes us, question everything. And again, you've got all these cards of questioning here, of feeling loss, a feeling that people are not telling you something that they should be telling you. But with Urias here, I feel like things may not be as bad as they look. Urias sometimes indicates that we either don't have all the information. And actually we're seeing right here that somehow we don't have all the information about something. That there's some piece that's missing here, and it may well be that the appearance of things is not as bad as what it actually is. But the Tower, on the other hand, does bring up an awakening. So Urias could just indicate something, that right now your whole picture of everything is influenced by and the unexpected coming into your life. Kind of shaking things up here with the Tower. But the Urias also has to do with, if you feel like you've got hidden enemies here, this is scoring points against hidden enemies. So if there is something going on in the background here that you're not aware of, I have a feeling it's going to be something that's going to come to light. And because again, we have this High Priestess, we have the Seven of Swords. It seems to be in connection to a family issue for some of you. It could be connected to a business or to a home specifically, but that does seem to be the essence of it here. And I think, ultimately, like I said, there's a lot of this 5 energy, and there's a lot of this energy about making decisions, about commitments, about people's interest. There is the sense of being tired of certain things. So I don't know. I feel like this is there's a lot that's going on right now that maybe, again, with this Thoth card over here, I feel like you may be being pushed in a direction of having to take a new viewpoint or change a point of view on something. But when I see Urias at the center here, it can indicate that unexpected surprises, I don't know, that there may be, before you make this decision over here in the Two of Wands, you may want to make sure you have all the information about something. That's kind of what the message is here. In spite of the fact that there very clearly has been something unexpected that's kind of rocked things for you a bit. So let's draw a card from the Avebury Oracle here and see what you need to know for the week of the 16th to the 22nd. Okay. Okay, our card is support. Okay. And let me read what this says. It says, "Know you are comforted and held. Those invisible bonds are real." Okay, so this is interesting. So I think in a certain situation, I'm looking at Anubis down here, which is definitely a card of being protected and supported. And I'm also looking at this over here in your house of relationship. And also even up here in your 11th house. I do feel like there's a situation where you feel unsupported, but I think you actually do have support on things. So it is reminding you that you may want to look to, just like with this 5 of Cups, you may not want to look at what's spilled, but you may want to look at the kind of support that you do have. I feel like that's the message that you have for this week. That if you are feeling shaken up and maybe you're feeling unsupported, I think the question is look to where the support is, or look to gain all of the information that you need, because I feel like there's a piece of information that's missing here about something for you that is creating this situation. So that's it for this week. I hope you have a great week, Virgo. If you did like this video, again, please consider hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment, and if you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing to the channel. That's it for me this week. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.